Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the event. Please, if your mic is on, can you please turn it off? Thank you very much. So my name is Kauna Hassan, the GDSC lead for Ahmadu University, and today we'll be having our info session introducing the club, what Google's the Student Developer Club is, and also introducing the Google Student Developer Club chapter of Ahmadu Bello University. So before we start, I want to know if anybody has any idea of what Google Student Developer Club is, or if they are confused about what the club is, or they don't know where to get started. Do we know people that know what the club is about? Me, I'll point names, so I'll call names. Do we know what the club is? The opportunities we stand to gain, and also if the club has benefited you in one way or the other, you can also signify. Okay, it seems a lot of people don't know what the club is. So we'll start with our presentation, and then along the way, if anybody has any question, please um stop me and ensure that I answer your question. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen. Okay, so can we now see our my screen? Can we all see my screen? Okay. We have a lot of time. Okay. Like I said, my name is Kauna Hassan, the Google Student Developer Bello University lead. So, what is GDSC and how do you get started with GDSC? So, GDSC is actually a club or a global club organized by Google, a total collaboration within campuses and also universities and colleges. But then it's mostly focused for young developers and enthusiasts. But then the misconception is that GDS is only for people who code, and that's not true. We have our previous project management lead here, and we all know that management doesn't necessarily involve a lot of code. And then there are also opportunities out there. If you're very versed in writing, you have the skills of writing, you can become a technical writer. And also, yeah, there are other opportunities out there aside just web development or Android development. We also have machine learning and data science. What are the key things you stand to gain as a member of GDSC? Um, you stand to gain learning and skill development, experience in academic skill development, and then you also get to be part of the innovation in this 21st century. um, Innovation, there are hackathons that are organized by Google, especially the solution challenge, and some of us actually registered for the challenge last year. But then the thing about the solution challenge is that you have to solve a problem. So you can look at maybe around Zaria and see, okay, around Zaria axis or even a community in Zaria, what are the problems they might encounter and how can we use technology to solve those problems? Google is also focused on community development and collaboration. So through community interactions, helping one another, reaching out to members, reaching out to people who are involved, within the community, and also collaborating with them. You also get access to resources like Google credits on cloud credits and various opportunities out there, like the TensorFlow learning part, also the machine learning part, and also career pathways. You get insights by um, key industry experts on how to go about um, getting a career or setting the path for your career as a student. Um, so for 2023, we have an outlined idea of what we'll be doing as a club. We have then have we also have our info session, and then which was supposed to hold much earlier in the year, but then because of exams, we couldn't hold that. We're also supposed to have our Android Compose Camp, which will introduce us to Android development and also how to use Android Studio. Um, we also have our web study jams, which will introduce us to web development, setting the path for us for those who are interested in web development. And then the most interesting part, well, not the most interesting, but one of the interesting parts of this year will be the Dev Fest. So, Dev Fest for Dev Fest Kaduna, Dev Fest is holding on the 28th of October, and we are looking to transport as many of us who are willing to go to Kaduna for free. So much later on in the week, we'll send a document where you can register, and then we also have a pickup station where people can get transported to and fro from Zaria to Kaduna. And then we also have our solution challenge, which will be coming up in January. So, like I mentioned earlier, the solution challenge info basically introduces us to what solution challenge is, what you stand to benefit, the opportunities that are outlined towards the solution challenge. And then the hackathon will open also January. It will be open from January to February. Also in October, we also have our Hacktober first, which will introduce us to um, open source development and open source and how to contribute to open source. So for those of us who are lost on how to contribute to open source, what open source is, how to go about that, we'll have our session on Tuesday. So we'll introduce everyone to what Hacktober first is, what open source is. And then by November and December, we'll have our machine learning study jam, which will introduce us to what machine learning is. Most of us already use ChatGPT and BARD, so we'll get introduced to what machine learning is, AI, and data science. So, for what most of us have been waiting for, we have our core team members for 2023 slash 2024 session, and we have Abdullahi as the tech lead, Oluwafemi John Lawal as the UI UX lead, Oluwatobi Ekundayo as the technical writing lead, and then we have Precious Alex as the digital marketing lead, Henry Anene as the back end lead, Lillian Damisa as the front end lead, Toib Zube as the design lead, and Shukra as the project management lead. One thing we wanted to do this year was also introduce a cloud engineering pathway for those who are interested in cloud engineering. And so we have our cloud engineering lead, who is Shalom Micah. Please, a round of applause for them. Those of you that, you can use emojis, you can use reactions, a round of applause for them. It's not easy. Okay. So to join the club, we have a link here, which I'll post much later in the day. If you're not part or if not registered to be part of the club, I advise as many people to register so that you can know what's happening in the club. You can know about events. You can also have access to these opportunities that are out there. Um, we also have a quote by the CEO of Google, which says that the core of what Google is about bringing information to people. So this club basically will bring as much opportunities to us For those of us that have been part of the club for a while, or the or the WhatsApp group for a while, we know that we have been sharing opportunities, trying to, motivate one another, share opportunities for one another. And even you come across these opportunities, please don't hesitate to share it in the group, to share with one another. Collaboration is a key part of everything. So, what might be entailed, or what is entailed in the club? We career development, community development, community. Basically, the focus is community building. People are important, and people are the key part of the community. Emotional intelligence is very key to be emotionally intelligent. Um, Somebody might be going through something. You might not necessarily know what another person is going through. Emotional intelligence is key. Even emotional intelligence in the workplace also. You also have access to growth opportunities. You get to grow alongside your peers. You're not trying to even though you're trying to learn hands-on, you're also growing with people around you, with your community. You also have access to learning pathways. Like I mentioned, opportunities also are what make up GDSC. So for our social media handles, we have our Twitter, which is at GDSC_ABU, our Instagram at GDSC ABU, and our LinkedIn at GDSC Ahmadu Bello University. We'll be sharing updates on there. So if you've not been following us, please follow us and learn more about what we're doing. I don't know if anybody has any question about what has been said so far. If anybody has anything they are not clear on, that they need more understanding on, please um raise your hand, or you can speak up. Or if you don't really know or understand what the club is about, or what we've been doing on the club, please reach out, please speak up. You can ask questions now also. Okay, so one more thing I want to emphasize is collaboration, like I mentioned earlier. We have I think the two co-founders of Gray, for those of us who use Gray Finance, I think they were once members of JDSC or so, and those people collaborated within themselves to found that fintech startup. So if you have friends, you have colleagues, okay, these people, they are hands-on, they know what they are doing. You could start a startup, start something small, start building from there. Get, probably your classmates or your friends, get them to use the applications or the websites you built, and that way, people grow. We also have Piggyvest. Piggyvest was founded by Odunayo and her friends who were in CU at that time, Covenant University, and they founded that startup, building it one step at a time. And look at where they are today. So you never know, what opportunity lays ahead of you, what you might encounter, just by or the problems you might be solving or helping anybody out there just by building. So I encourage everybody to build projects, share them even in the community, even if it's not 100% perfect, just by people's opinions, you can build on, and have something solid you can call a startup one day. So I hope we've all understood and also have some understanding of what the club is and what you stand to gain. Also, please, one more thing, share um the club link with your friends. Tell them about GDSC. Tell them what's happening in the club. It's very important that people also have a knowledge of what's happening in the club, so that everyone has an opportunity. Especially in the north, is very, very um rare. Or even people who have access to these opportunities, it's like they are gatekeeping it. They don't share it. You know, amongst people. So please, if you have access to opportunities, internships, global internships, very soon we'll be having somebody who interned at Goldman Sachs to come and speak to the team. Please, 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 let's share these opportunities. Let's tell our friends about it, about the club. And one day we'll probably have Precious or Femi as one startup founder, and we'll be famsing him. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Please, does anyone have any question or anything they are not clear on, or contributions?
I
Um,
kind of want to ask, like, I want to know what's up with your club. Are you, what can I learn from you guys? Say I'm fresh and I have interest in learning, one tech skill. Can I learn from the club? Can I just club?
okay, so for the club, we have different learning pathways. Um,
What?
right? There's the UI UX, there's technical writing, which we introduced this year. So it's not just limited to developers. We have cloud engineering, project management, which is also not limited, which is not also about coding. We also have digital marketing, which is not also about coding. So there are various opportunities out there for people who are interested in tech. Um, in in inclusive of what digital marketing is, we have also content writing, um social media management, and everything in between. We have email marketing also. So basically the club is to foster the innovation and also the use of technology amongst students. Are you clear on that?
Oh, yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else have any more question or anything they aren't clear on? Okay, so I guess that will be the end of the event. Please follow us on our social media handles and reach out if you have any questions. You have things you don't understand. Reach out to all the leads in the various cohorts. Very soon start the various cohorts and have lessons and to better build everybody on their various tech skills. And then on Tuesday we'll be having um the October 1st info introduction and also how to contribute to open source. And then on the 29th, we'll be having someone who interned at Goldman Sachs speak to us on how to get access to global opportunities, internships, and how to go about our application processes. So I really hope as we all journey through this phase that someday we all meet ourselves and we're excited because we grew together, you know so thank you very much for showing up. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you to the leads for giving us their time and also their skills and knowledge. We're deeply grateful, and I'm grateful for everyone on here, and I'm grateful for the community. Thank you, everyone. So we've come to the end of the meeting. Good night. Have a lovely day and happy Sunday, all. Thank you. Um, Abubakar Liman, your hand is raised. You have any question? Mr. Abubakar Liman, do you have any question? Your hand is raised.
Oh. No, not video call, is a meeting. How do you know my password? I told you that time, and then the hint is there, man.